Barnaby wasn't a very good cloud. The other clouds were magnificent. They were big and puffy and brilliant white, like scoops of ice cream in the sky. They could make booming thunder that rattled the windows of the town below, or gentle rain that made the flowers dance. Barnaby was, well, Barnaby was a bit grayish and wispy. When he tried to boom, it came out as a soft poof. When he tried to rain, he managed only 3 measly drops that usually evaporated before they reached the ground. The big clouds often drifted right through him, laughing. "Get some fluff, Barnaby," they'd rumble. One evening, Barnaby felt particularly useless. He drifted low over the little town of Twinkle-on-the-Hill, feeling sorry for himself. Down below, something wonderful was happening. It was the annual Firefly Festival. All the townspeople, young and old, were gathered in the main square. The mayor stood on a small stage, holding a single, empty jar. "Welcome," the mayor announced. "Tonight, as we do every year, we will fill this jar with the light of 1,000 fireflies. Their magic will keep our town bright and happy for another year." A little girl in the front row, named Lily, clutched her own small, empty jar. Her face was full of excitement. But as the sun disappeared completely, a problem became clear. There were no fireflies. Not one. The air was still and dark. The crowd murmured with worry. Lily's face fell. "They're not coming," someone whispered. "The festival is ruined." Barnaby, floating sadly above, felt a pang in his misty heart. He couldn't make rain for their flowers or shade for their picnics, but he hated seeing them so sad. He wished he could help. He drifted lower and lower, until he was just hovering above the treetops. He watched as Lily opened her little jar and peered inside, as if hoping a firefly might have appeared by magic. Nothing. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Seeing that tear did something to Barnaby. He forgot about being big and puffy. He forgot about making thunder. He just wanted to make that little girl smile. He took a deep, wispy breath, the biggest he could manage, and did the only thing he was really good at. He let himself fall apart. Not in a loud, crashing way, but gently. He unraveled. His soft, grayish mist spread silently through the town square. It wasn't a cold, wet fog. It was soft and light, like spun sugar. It swirled around the lampposts and tickled the noses of the townspeople. Everyone looked around, confused. A fog. Now. But then Lily gasped. She pointed into the mist. "Look!" And everyone saw it. Inside Barnaby's gentle mist, tiny pinpricks of light were beginning to sparkle. 1, then 10, then 100. They weren't fireflies. They were tiny, shimmering motes of dust, specks of pollen, and little leftover drops of his evaporated rain, all catching the faint light from the moon and the street lamps. Because of the mist, every tiny, invisible speck in the air was suddenly transformed. Each one glowed like a miniature star. It wasn't a swarm of fireflies. It was something far more magical. It looked like the entire night sky had decided to come down and dance in the town square. Thousands upon thousands of tiny lights twinkled and swirled in the soft, gray air. The mayor stood with his mouth open. Lily laughed, a sound like tiny bells, as she held up her jar and watched it fill not with fireflies, but with a swirling galaxy of captured light. The whole town was bathed in a gentle, shimmering glow. High above, the big, puffy clouds stared down in amazement. They had never seen anything like it. Barnaby was gone, spread out into a million glowing pieces, woven into the fabric of the town's most magical night ever. He wasn't a thundermaker or a rainbringer. He didn't need to be. He was a magic maker. And from that day on, the town of Twinkle-on-the-Hill never worried about fireflies again, because they knew that sometimes all you needed was one slightly grayish, wispy little cloud who knew how to fall apart in the most beautiful way.